penultimate round in the TeamStar Premier League has completed. Final round of community hockey as well. Welcome back to another episode of the Hockey Hour. Jase Gabriel is my name. And of course, alongside me, former Hockeyroos Jane Claxton, who has been keeping up to date with the World Cup because she's been up watching it.
Yes, I know. It's prime time for newborns, apparently. So, me and Ola have been up stressing. The poor girl is getting a lot of yelling and frights in the middle of the night. I worry about her future, but no, it's been lovely.
We will talk about the World Cup in a second, but another great show lined up. We have the news to come, of course, your mailbag questions, which we've got a few of this week. We'll go through the second last round of the TeamStar Premier League, as I mentioned. All things happening in the for the sixth positions. And we're going to talk to the man we talked about last week, World Cup winner. He's a former Kookaburra, legend of the Tassie Tigers. Tim Deavin is going to join us later in the show. We'll ask him about all hockey, community, Premier League, Hockey One, and obviously the World Cup. But let's start with the World Cup, Jane. The Hockeyroos have made it to a semi-final.
I know, with the stat of only winning one game, drawing 2 games, and then a loss, it's crazy that you can now call yourself semi-finalist. But I will caveat that with we've been on the other side of that coin where at the Olympic Games we've won every single match and then lost a quarterfinal. And your stat at the end is 1 loss, 4 wins.
Yeah.
So, super happy for the girls. And to win against someone like India who kicked us out in Tokyo is, I think a little silver lining for them as well. But gosh, it was hard to get to sleep after that 1 a.m. shift, but super proud of them. And obviously to recap their kind of, trajectory to this point, they had a 2-0 victory over Japan, which was definitely hard fought, but I think showed a lot of promise early on. And then a 4-2 loss to Netherlands. Arguably, we saw a really different side to Netherlands in that game where they opted for potentially claiming goals that weren't goals, and luckily we had video referrals. I think we saw a very different Netherlands, and that could have easily been a draw. Probably lost our wheels a little bit in the last 5 minutes, but goal scorers in Steph Kershaw and Abby Wilson that game, and then a 4-all blockbuster against Chile, which
wild.
No one predicted.
The wildest quarter I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know. No goalies. Oh, it was crazy. But goals from Courtney Chanel, Abby Wilson, and Claire Colwell, and the last minute equaliser, at the death, going over the baseline from Mariah Williams. So,
That would have knocked him out.
Yes, it would have.
That loss would have knocked him out.
Yeah, and so I think I've never yelled so much at my television in my life. To finish second in their Pool A to earn a spot in Pool E, and then come out their first crossover match against China and drawing that 1-1, which that's all they needed, and that was obviously through a penalty stroke and Abby Wilson. And arguably they could have won that match if they referred that last penalty corner, because I think it would have potentially been a stroke.
Yes.
So, obviously having a PC, I think that didn't go through their heads. They're probably like, great, we've got a PC.
Yeah.
Not much thought went into, could have this been a stroke? And I think the commentators
I think it definitely was.
Yeah, taking someone down as they're shooting. But, we came out with the points anyway. And then obviously to top that off, a 0-0 draw against India, and that secured them a spot in the semi-finals. They just needed a draw or a win out of that match effectively. So, proud of the girls. They obviously hard fought through that campaign, and obviously coming into the World Cup had a lot of negativity surrounding them in terms of they're likely not to make it out of the pool stage, and earlier on in this year they've copped a lot of flack. So I'm sure they, it's just reward for all of that effort and, sitting it out this entire year, kind of, battling through. So great work by them. And obviously we'll find out after we've filmed this podcast whether they verse Belgium or Argentina in their semi-final clash. So either way, I think it's going to be a tough match for them, and they're going to have to start putting away those numerous opportunities they've had goal scoring wise. So exciting.
It's just wild that the positions. Netherlands obviously won all 3 of their games in that pool, and then of course the Hockeyroos second, and it was their goals scored that got them over the line, because them and India had exactly the same goal difference, but they had scored 3 goals and India 2. Essentially, if China hadn't lost as badly to the Dutch, then they would have also been in that category. So if they'd lost 4-3 or 3-2 effectively, if the Dutch hadn't scored it, or if they'd scored 1 extra goal, made it a 2-goal differential in that game.
It's crazy stats.
They would have actually gone to second. It is just mind-boggling. That's how it's worked
things
out.
That have had to work out in their favour. I mean, they had so many opportunities against India. I think they had a lot of the play. I think 22 to maybe 1 goal shot India technically, statistically had. So yeah, they definitely deserved potentially a win, but to come away with just a draw, that's all they needed to do. And then the Kookaburras.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about that.
Unfortunately, obviously, we've just found out as of today that they've missed out on the semi-finals by 1 goal. So they've had the pretty much opposite experience to the Hockeyroos, with the fact that they've gone through their round games. They obviously had the 1 draw to South Africa, but 1 against Spain, and then drew against Belgium. And so they've almost had the opposite of what the Hockeyroos did, in terms of they had their 1 win and then a loss and some draws. And they obviously drew to Belgium 1-1 in their crossover, and then lost, unfortunately, in the early hours of this morning, 4-2 to Germany, which was a blockbuster to watch. Obviously, early goal from Blake Gubbers, and I was like, we're on here, we're fine, we're sorted. This is the Kookaburras of old. But Germany, I think it was it Paris or Tokyo Olympics, in the last dying seconds, in the 2 minutes to go, they scored 2 goals, and they were known for until they're on the bus, they're in the game. So
just natural German hockey culture.
Exactly. So obviously Blake Gubbers and Joel Rentala, both great, I guess, contributors to the World Cup, and both coming in late from injuries. And Joel particularly really helping out and on the scoreboard for the Kookaburras across the tournament. So devastating for them, and especially, I guess, to go out by goal difference as well. It's not by points, but I guess this is the beauty of this kind of format, is that it does really come down to those minor statistics now, rather than just a win or a loss in a quarterfinal. So yeah, I don't know a lot. Obviously, if you're a country that fails in this format, you hate it. And then if you win in this format, you love it. So who knows? But yeah, their likely opponent is either England or Argentina, just depending on how those games, the rest of those crossover pool games go tonight.
I think, it'll be interesting to see those games tonight, because I think the Dutch play England and Argentina play India.
Yes.
So Argentina win and they're in, I think. Because it's going to be a challenge for England to beat the Dutch. But strange things have happened, as we've seen over this whole World Cup. But by the time we go to air, the semi-finals would have been done and dusted. Are you backing the Roos to get to the final?
I think they've played such great out-of-field hockey play. I've never seen them move the ball so efficiently over the last few years. It's that circle play that I think they're really struggling with, in terms of getting they get a lot of opportunities, but converting those. That's going to probably dry up against the Belgium and Argentinian teams. I think we have probably more of a chance against someone like Argentina. Belgium, I think, have been in great form. We did perform against them really well in Pro League, but they've obviously got a few players coming back into their squad. So, it's going to be a hard one to get. I think we've done really well defensively, so I don't think we'll concede too many, but it's the other end of the pitch that I think will be the decider.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on this. By the time, obviously, we go to air, I think the semi-finals probably would have been done and dusted. We'd be looking at at the finals contenders, but nonetheless, success. Well, overall exceeded expectation. The Hockeyroos, and I probably would have thought the Kookaburras were on par for. Let's hope they finish 5th. But I think that's probably about par for them. quite hit and miss through the Pro League as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. They were, I think early on in Hobart, they were really red
Mm.
hot. And then throughout the year, I think because they lose a lot of people through the European season,
Yep.
I wondered if that hindered their, I guess, gameplay, way of play, because people coming in last minute to play in a World Cup and they haven't really played together in some weeks. I don't know.
Time will tell. We'll watch this space. Junior World Cup qualifier squads have been revealed. So the Burrows and the Jillaroos will compete in the Oceania Junior World Cup qualifiers in Redcliffe in Queensland. Simon Orchard, who is obviously coaching the Burrows, and Marcel Keat, the Jillaroos, will take charge of their squads for the first time. The squads have been named. The Burrows include WA reps Ian Grobler and Jonah Pilati, while the Jillaroos include WA reps Summer Greenway, Georgia Hiskins and Maddie Naish. Game 1 is Thursday the 1st of October, and Game 2 and 3 are Saturday and Sunday the 3rd and 4th of October. This will obviously gain qualification to the 2027 FIH Junior World Cup. So they'll be taking on New Zealand, of course. So watch this space. We'll have more news to come. But congratulations to our Burrows and Jillaroo reps. The national country squads have been revealed. So the under-21 and senior country squads from the recent Bendigo Championships for the men's senior, who will tour New Zealand, the men and women who will tour New Zealand in March 2027. Braden Dalton for the men from WA, and Misha Rodia for the women from WA. And then the under-21s who will tour Borneo in December. WA reps Harry Burns and Dean Lomax, who was on the show, has been named as an assistant coach. And then for the women, Sienna Norgett and Madison Fenwick have been named. So congratulations to all our WA reps from the Hockey Australia Country Championships, who will now have a chance to represent the Australian country team. Let's finish off the news, Jane, with signings galore in the Hockey
everyone's
One.
now releasing their signings. Let's go start off with the Canberra Chill. They've obviously re-signed, a huge re-signing in Tom Craig and Davis Atkins, and then Anand Gupti obviously returning and re-signing for them as well, but also have scored Craig Murray, taking him away from HC Melbourne. So
That was probably the worst reveal I've seen, unfortunately. Have you seen it?
Yes, yeah.
We probably shouldn't throw shade because it's a very difficult job to create all this sort of content and hype. But just not quite shaded enough.
It came across my feed this morning. I was like, oh, yeah, okay. So huge win for the Chill, attracting Craig obviously across. And then back to our beloved Melbourne Cobras, obviously announcing Mahim Chaudhry joining their team, who is obviously 5 caps for the Indian senior national team. 15 appearances for India and the Hockey Fives, and then 9 goals, 1 silver at the 2024 Hockey Fives World Cup. They've got a lot of the Hockey Fives kind of India representation coming across.
Do you think that's because it doesn't cost them that much?
I would say
tongue in cheek. I say that, but
yes, I would definitely say that. And she's obviously been part of the Shirachi Bengal Tigers. I never get these names right, but
you're doing well.
Thank you. And then also Rohil is joining their men's squad, so he's got 51 caps for the Indian junior team and 20 goals. That's pretty good statistic over that time. So that will really bolster their forward line. And his resume includes international titles at the World Cup appearances and Junior World Cup bronze medal as captain of the team. So a bit of leadership quality there as well. And then
this is a big one, I think.
Yeah, the beloved Ben Rennie has deserted.
He's doing a tour of the Hockey One
Maybe
teams.
Maybe he just wanted a different holiday destination.
I love it though. He's still in
I
great
wonder
form.
if there's some resentment between him and Devo, because obviously he is Fremantle Cockburn representative. So
great opportunity. I think this is a big signing for Melbourne.
Yes, I think so too. So obviously going from Tassie Tigers across to the Cobras, and also he played for the Thundersticks.
Yep.
So he's got a lot of fingers in a lot of different pies. Maybe he's just sussing out which is the best team to really knuckle down in maybe next year or the year after.
I love it.
And then New South Wales Pride, obviously wanting to lock down some of their Hockeyroos in Abby Wilson, Grace Stewart, Mariah Williams, Ash Thomas, and Blake Gubbers from the Kookaburras as well. So they're obviously getting really worried and needing to definitely let everyone know that they're keeping all of their international representation.
I love it. I love it. So all is happening. I'm sure there'll be some more to come potentially once squads get officially named as we get closer to the hockey one, which starts in October. Let's head to the mailbag, Jane. We've got a few questions this week. Got an anonymous one to start. What are your thoughts on the Premier 2 men's table for the last week? Newman and Whitford's fighting to not get relegated play Reds and UWA, who are looking to make finals, plus Melville and Hale for minor premiership. That's from Anonymous. I've just brought up the table. I played my season, part-time, I should say, in this competition.
Higher goal scorer you were.
Not even that. Higher a pseudo midfielder. Yes. Whitford's have struggled all year, but they've come good. They were winless maybe about 4 rounds ago.
Wow.
So they are now on 7 points, and Newman, who has come into the competition, are on 6. So they play Reds, who are on 41 points inside the 6 on 4th, or in 4th, and UWA, who are on 39 points. So the top 6 is essentially set. It's just positions. So I would imagine both of those teams will beat Whitford's and Newman, and it, unfortunately, is probably going to relegate Newman.
It's bouncing up and down.
Yeah, to
That's
the
always
3rd
the
division.
Thing.
That'll be dependent, I think. I think it's Rockingham who were previously.
Okay. And sometimes they opt not to.
Yes, so it'll be dependent. Good chance that Rockingham will want to come back up into the Premier 2. That'll be their first division team. But probably the game of the weekend in the Premier 2s is the top of the table clash. But we would normally say that, but it actually doesn't matter because minor premiership is all well and good, but you're just going to play that team the following week. So Hale and Melville will play each other, 1 point difference with Hale on top. But if you're in this situation, knowing that you would probably play this team next week, how would you play this game?
Well, I've had some inspo over the weekend from our Division 4 ladies who were fighting for relegation. And on the weekend, they didn't have enough to field a team. So our Div 3 goalie ended up playing on the field for them.
Right.
And they all picked out positions out of a hat. Because they were like, well, we've got 10 players plus a goalie playing on the field, no goalie in the net. Let's just... Yeah.
I like that.
And so I'm like, do that. As if it means nothing, why not have some fun and pick positions out of a hat?
Well, you're not going to give away anything, right? So it's not a bad ploy. Like, why wouldn't you shake it up to get the other team thinking, is this what they normally do? Will they do that next week? Or are they going to do this again? Yeah. So
you've probably played them throughout the year anyway. So this could be a fun way to go into finals.
I like it. Well, it's a good question, Anon. Appreciate you shining some light on the Premier 2 men's competition. It's a very good competition and has been fairly tight for most of the year, but it was a bit of a breakaway towards the middle. So the top 6 is set there. But appreciate the question, Anon. From Joubert.Ruben, biggest surprise of the Prem season?
On the girls' side of things, I definitely think YM and Freo have really surprised me in this last.
I was going to say Fremantle Cockburn.
I think Fremantle have really benefited, obviously, from having their 2 Hockeyroos available to them over the last month. Casey Dawkins has scored multiple times in multiple matches. So she's really, I guess, paid off for them having her back in the fold, whereas prior to that, they heavily leaned on Jenna Ray McIntyre, obviously. So they've really come up quite fast, which probably people most had written them off. Similar to YM. So those 2 are probably at the midway mark. You wouldn't have betted them being in the 6th spot. You probably thought Whitford's and Melville. The likely contenders there.
I think, we've said it all year, but my biggest surprise is how important this sixth position has
I
come.
know.
I did not see that coming.
I didn't. I feel bad for the top of the table because we just don't care anymore. All we chat about is the sixth spot.
Yeah, we literally talked about it for the last maybe 3 or 4 weeks, but
Yeah.
I think that's been the biggest surprise. Like, obviously, the new position for finals, we heavily disagreed on how about it at the start of the year, but it's become the talking point.
Yeah.
Much similar to the wild card in the AFL,
Yeah.
with the positions 7 to 10. So yeah, it's the biggest surprise I think this season. Be fascinating to see whether it'll continue in seasons to come, because if we didn't have the sixth position, both competitions would have the top 5 or would have been wrapped up maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago. So for our sake, doing a content related podcast, it's been perfect.
Created a drama and a storyline.
It certainly has. Well, thank you for your question, Ruben. Next question, next question is from Scotty Goodhart, a man who heavily related to the Westside Wolves Hockey Club, chairman of selectors, or I think he still is, for the Thundersticks. Have we made a mistake going to artificial surfaces back in the late 70s? After watching the recent Soccer World Cup and seeing the stadiums and the crowds, also noting that turf building and land access is a massive financial and supply challenge in Perth, we have lost the ability to co-use some amazing facilities with rugby/soccer, let alone the spontaneity loss from players being happy to throw some T-shirts down as a goal and then play on an oval at any time. I know the game is faster and elimination skills are more varied, but I think we could have evolved a grass game into something amazing as well, perhaps with different stick shapes and ball compositions. What are your thoughts?
Yes and no. I definitely agree with the sentiment about the shared facilities and leeching, let's say, off of like a soccer and a rugby, who do have more funding than us and a more, I guess, global popularity. But I love how fast-paced and skillful our game is.
Yep.
It's probably easier to watch live and more entertaining to watch live than I would argue soccer is.
Yep.
But I think it's so hard for me to comprehend because I just love the format we currently play in, and then to then imagine how that would then go on grass. I have a lot of close friends that play on grass, so I watch them on a semi-weekly basis. So imagining that on the world stage, I would struggle with. Yeah.
I'm interested to know whether we could have a specific type of game on grass. So we obviously got the hockey fives. What if there was a modified game on grass where people then could start to choose whether they, wanted to play one or the other? Obviously, they'd be completely different styles, but could we have like an elite grass competition, which is maybe less players, smaller field? Maybe like a Singapore Sixers potentially, like that type of field, and make that an elite competition. Maybe that's
and it would bring
go.
in more countries, because I think countries like, especially in Europe, I know some struggle to get the funding to have an artificial turf to then make it FIH accredited to be able to participate in, and so then they go to indoor, and so you see a lot of those nations dominating the indoor side of things. So potentially going off of the Singapore Sixers format.
I think with the co-sharing with turfs, I think we could be better at reaching out to other sports to co-share, and I'm thinking definitely like futsal. I think that's quite popular in England. They co-share with like 6-a-side or 5-a-side futsal, and they play on the turf. Lacrosse could definitely be utilised.
Had in Adelaide, code share with lacrosse at our main stadium. Yeah,
absolutely, lacrosse. And I think the third one is tag football. Which
imagine diving on turf intentionally.
Well, you could
all
still
the time.
potentially still win it, but tag like the American football, because that's in the Olympics.
Yeah.
So that could be, you have that blocked out for maybe. I mean, it's hard because of turf. Clubs have so much turf on, so much club
maybe.
for turf. But maybe that's the co-sharing there. So good question, Scotty. Appreciate the thought process. Very lateral thinker, Scotty Goodhart.
He is.
So let us know what you think. If anyone out there has thoughts on what we could do into either co-sharing or maybe an elite grass competition, maybe we should look into it. Let us know. Couple from our good mate Tommy Wetton sent through to me, Jane.
I know, that's really, I thought we were friends. Thought we had a connection in commentary, and he's gone and just messaged you. It's fine, Tom. It's fine.
You know, as soon as this drops, you're going to get a text message.
I know. I expect it. No.
That'll leave you left unread for a few days.
Yeah.
Tommy's first question: is the 2-minute green card enough of a deterrent? Should it be longer?
I think it's a good slap on the wrist for minor offences. And you've got, 2 minutes, and then you escalate to 5 and then 10. So I don't know how, if you go to 3 minutes, is it that much of a bigger difference than 2? I'm not too sure. I don't know if I think it's great we send people off the field for cards.
Yep.
I think that's a great element of our game, and adds a bit of diversity. Obviously, other games you get a card and it doesn't really mean anything in that moment. I don't know. If it would make much of a difference between a 5 and then adding a 4 or a 3 minute green.
Yeah, I think it's probably about right, isn't it? I think it's for the minor instances. I think it's enough. You probably don't want any more than that time-wise, and if you do, it becomes a bit harder to manage.
I do have a counter question to the hockey community in the same vein, just of some of the content I've been watching at the World Cup during games. Should we start bringing in more stringent rules about faking injuries on the turf to break down play?
Yes.
There was one particular game I was watching, the Hockeyroos are versing a certain country, and I think every single time any type of light body contact, ball hit was happening, people going down in a heap, and it was pausing play. And I guess especially when you're in those intense defensive moments, to then eradicate that intensity by having a stop in play really halts the opposition's momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's probably used around if it's a turnover free hit, right? And it stops the other team being able to go quickly. So, I like that.
I would like to put that out to the community and get feedback on how obviously there's the issue of deciding, are you faking or are you not? Because, you want to obviously player welfare on the front of mind. But I think Amber Church has handled it very well at the World Cup as the umpire. She got really terse with a few players and go, yep, you're okay, get up.
Yep, I did.
And I was like, actually, I think we should give umpires entitlement to read the situation and go, you've done it numerous times now. Let's, call it a day.
Do you like the referrals for misdemeanors around the field that the umpires can call?
I think so. I think it's gone on too long where there's certain countries that do a lot of behind the play stuff and they haven't been held accountable because umpires don't see it, or can't make that judgment because something's moved on elsewhere. I think it's a good initiative.
Okay, I like it. Last one from Tommy. Do you expect the respective Hockeyroos and Kookaburras will represent their Perth-based clubs for finals? Good question.
I would hope so. It's a double-edged sword. I think that's their opportunity to go home.
Yep.
And often a lot of them have a lot more connection to their home-based hockey clubs.
Yes.
And so I also respect that decision. I think we have a very skewed view in Perth of the fact they should come back and play for this club that they really don't have a super big attachment to unless you've engaged in the hockey community a bit more in depth whilst you've been in Perth in your international role. So don't hold it against people for going back to their home state and holding alliance to a club they've probably played for decades.
I would say UWA are very good with this, and Cam Geddes will probably definitely come back and play through the final series. I want to say Nathan Ephraim's will probably play for them as well, which makes them very difficult to beat again. that's probably just the UWA take.
I think Claire and Mariah for Hale.
Yes, that would be big.
I think they would be highly likely to play. They have very strong ties to that hockey club.
Grace Young for Wolves.
Yep, if she isn't injured by the end of this World Cup. That poor girl, I think, has been taken off by the physio every game. So if she's still together by the end of the World Cup, potentially, or she probably has a well-deserved rest.
Marion Tatum will be important for Vic
Sarah
Park.
Burns.
Sarah Burns, of course, for Hale.
Definitely for Hale. She's always down there
she loves
each week anyway.
Yep.
So she'll definitely be back. So it could be really exciting final series, especially on the women's side, because they haven't had their players all year.
It'd be interesting to see whether Liam Henderson comes back to join Cooper at IMCC, because that makes them very difficult to beat.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you know this, but they've also signed the big dog.
Oh yes, I had
playing
heard
for the last few
whispers
weeks
of this.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's if you have him as well.
Do you want to explain to the viewers?
So
don't know who Big Dog is.
The big dog. What do you mean you don't know who the big dog is? Chris Sorello has put the feelers out to YMCC, and they've accepted him. So he's been playing. He played twos, I think, about a month to 5 weeks ago, I want to say, and then has now been playing in their first grade team. So that's huge for them.
That is.
Especially if you potentially don't have Cooper Burns play. Gives them another drag flicking option.
Do you think he was waiting to see which club was going to potentially win a premiership and goes, I'll contact these guys?
I love Chris, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, he's like, I'll wait till near mid-season and then make my decision.
I think Tyler Lover was very happy. Tyler saw that as a golden opportunity, as you would. It's going to be interesting. Joel Rintala to potentially come back for Wolves. I think that'll be very important for them. Liam Flynn and a few, I'm just trying to think of the Belts brothers.
Come
back for Hale.
Yep.
Potentially. And then...
I'd say so. They have pretty set lives here.
Yep. Fremantle Cockburn, I think Lockie Rogers and obviously Jack Welsh. Jack potentially comes back for them. And then depending on who finishes in 6 and 7, Melville will have, I'm not sure, I'm trying to think who plays for them. Lockie Sharp potentially. Maybe he's moved now. I can't remember who they have now, but Dylan Downey is definitely one of them, and it's Davis. So I think they're already probably available. Although I think Dylan's been back home, so that probably tells you. Reds have
Blake and Jeremy.
So that's huge if they both choose to come home.
Yeah, they obviously help a lot.
It's going to be interesting, but yes, I'd love to see them come back and play, but I completely understand if they don't. They are entitled to some leave. Maybe for the Kookaburras to get away from hockey for a little bit.
Yep.
And depending on what happens.
And going straight into Hockey 1 as well. It's a hectic schedule, so yeah.
Last question is from Blake's brother, Kieran. Hit me up. His question was if the Kookaburras are pretenders or contenders, but I might hold off on that one, and we'll ask Tim Deavin later in the show.
Yeah,
I think that's a good question for Tim to answer. It obviously is post now, so they're not contenders anymore, but I'm interested to see what Devo says. Yeah, for sure. If you have any questions, of course, touch base with Jane or I via Instagram, or you can answer the story on the Hockey WA Instagram pages. But we love your questions, so keep them coming through. And if you want to send them to Jane, she would be more than happy to get them.
Yeah,
She's got a bit more time on her hands.
Next week, it's your last chance.
A bit more time on her hands than I do at the moment. She's itching for things to do. So
I'm doing a lot of online learning.
Love it. But that is a mailbag for this week. All right, Jane, for the second last time this year, let's wrap the TeamStar Premier League home and away rounds, the penultimate round. Let's start with the women, and there's only really one game to talk about. That was what we talked about last week. Reds and Fremantle Cockburn. Fremantle Cockburn getting the Chocolates 3-2, putting them in prime position for sixth spot on the ladder.
Yeah, unfortunately, our lofty hopes of a comeback win and getting into that sixth spot were dashed on the weekend. We went from playing Hale on a Friday night and almost getting close to like at least a 3-2 scoreline, if not a draw, and we had plenty of opportunities. I was like, this bodes well for Sunday, and maybe we played our final on the Friday night. But disappointing for the girls, of course. But we left our run too late, I'd say, in the season. Don't leave it to the last 2 games of the season to rely on. That's my advice going forward.
Well, as Jane mentioned, the rest of that game she's referring to on Friday finished with Hale winning 3-1. I think it was 20 minutes worth, I think you played.
Yeah, 12 minutes and then a quarter.
Okay, all right. So about 20 to 25 minutes worth. Then Saturday, Vic Park defeated Wasps 3-0. Wolves defeating Whitford 3-0. UWA 5-1 over YMCC. 8-0 for Melville for subs over Melville. And then Claxton getting a hat-trick. What? Unheard of.
I know.
Taylor.
I'm like, whoa. We don't do this. We don't score goals in this family. We obviously make a joke each year of like who can score the most goals in club hockey. And it's notoriously like one person wins because they score one singular goal the whole season. So that was wild times.
Taylor Claxton with the hat-tricks in the 7-0 victory for North Coast Raiders over Hale. So let's see the ramifications for the ladder. I don't think there's too much movement in the top, but of course we've talked about this illustrious 6th position. Subs now level with Hale now that they finished that game on 47 points, but a considerable, almost doubled Hale's goal difference, in fact. Wolves in 3rd on 46, Uni in 4th on 43, Vic Park 41, and now Fremantle Cockburn on 30. YMCC on 28. Unfortunately now for Reds, can't make the 6th position.
No.
You are out, unfortunately. So Fremantle Cockburn will play Wasps this weekend, and YMCC will play Vic Park, both on the same day. A win or it has to be a win for Fremantle Cockburn because their goal difference is significantly worse.
Yes, and also win for YM. And a loss for Freo would be obviously ideal for YM's case.
Yes. YM have to win. That's the base of it. They have to beat Vic Park, which
they had a tough run coming into these last 2 weeks. So
they certainly did.
Whereas obviously Freo had us and then Wasps theirs, so more ideal, I guess, in their case.
You would think Freo should win and therefore lock up that 6th spot, but crazier things have happened in hockey seasons of the past. Maddie Radcliffe is now 5 goals clear of Maria Delphi Guastavino. She should run out the Jackie Pereira leading goal scorer. So those are the 2 games to watch this weekend. Freo and Wasps, Vic Park and YMCC. I think Hale and Melville will be interesting, but there's no real validity in it, being that it's Melville's last game of the season. Let's have a look at the men's side of the competition. Vic Park was defeated by Wasps 5-2. Wolves 6-0 over Whitfords. The top of the table clash, UWA got up 1-0. So
that would have been an exciting match by the scoreline, of course.
Absolutely. Harry Golding in the 18th minute. Now, we don't normally see many games, especially in the men's division, with only the singular goal. So that would have been a ripping match and potentially a grand final precursor.
Yeah, so we've got exciting times ahead. And the weather's getting warmer, so we'll probably have like a 30-degree finals day again where everyone's just heat-stroked.
Cooked, absolutely cooked. In the 6th position in the men's side of the competition, Reds kept their hopes alive with a 3-3 draw with Fremantle Cockburn. And Melville did the job 10-0 against Modsell Guildford. Jacob Anderson with a hat-trick. Now, for the men's side of the competition, that shouldn't change too much in regards to the top of the ladder, but let's see what that does.
Yeah, they're coveted 6th position. It's going to be exciting. Obviously, Reds on 32, Melville on 34. Reds going into the last game playing Modsell Guildford versus Melville going into the last game playing Hale.
Interesting.
And they're I think they're at the same time or fixture on the weekend. So
we'll like it.
Exciting.
The last day of the Premier League, English Premier League type style. A draw will do it for Melville because they've got a better goal difference.
Yeah, that 10-0 victory.
Yes, so that is very
really
helpful.
helped them on the weekend.
Unless Reds can almost do the same to Mods Old Guildford this weekend. If they do and Melville draw, I'm assuming it will go to who scored the most goals for the season. And that will likely be Reds because they're currently on 65 goals scored.
Okay.
And they would go to 75.
Yep.
Depends on what the draw is, I suppose. But yeah, we could have this illustrious shootout where you can't tie the teams because they're just level on everything.
Down on a Wednesday night to PHS. Let's just do a shootout, guys.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's obviously a super important position now. The sixth position, YMCC on top on 49, Uni and Westside Wolves on 48 apiece, Hale and Fremantle Cockburn to follow. So the games, effectively to watch Hale and Melville, I think that's going to be an absolute ripper anyway. And then, effectively Reds and Mods.
Who would have thought coming down to the last two games or one game of the season, both men's and women's, to get finals contenders? But here we are.
And thankfully, our prayers had been answered. Liam Flint is at the World Cup.
Well done. We're so proud of him for maintaining
he got over, and
his relationship.
He was there to unfortunately see his lovely girlfriend Sarah cop one in the face.
Some would question if he was the unlucky, but she didn't cop it again the next game and he was still there. So maybe.
Very true.
That talking about Sarah Burns, she took that like a champion, no tears, almost laughter, and back the next day, right as rain with a little headband on. But admirable stuff on that hockey field.
10 stitches, I heard, and she's going well. So 10 stitches and a black eye, and I told her it looked badass. So.
Yeah,
that will mean Liam can't win the Eric Pearce leading goal scorer for probably an 8th time, I want to say.
Yep.
So Cooper Burns will be the Eric Pearce leading goal scorer award, and I know that he might have noted that to a few players, a couple of twins that used to be on the show, that's what he wanted to win, and he succeeded. So well done.
Gotta have goals.
So it's going to be a fantastic weekend in the TeamStar Premier Leagues. Have you found us a league to look at,
have.
Jane?
And I would also like to caveat. I've been given a little bit of smack talk over the last few weeks over when I mention all these. I don't mention every single goal scorer in each of the this is just an overview. Fortunately, we do not deep dive into the divisions. I wish we had the time.
We'll do it for finals.
Yeah, we'll do it for finals. Yeah. Yes, for sure. We'll do it for finals. But apologies for those people that have scored in previous weeks and they don't normally score and they didn't get a mention.
Well, I mean, they can always tell us they've scored. Tell us you've scored. Yeah, if you've got a hat trick and we don't read it out, tell us.
Yeah.
I want to know.
No, they are telling me.
Okay,
but it's a week too late. So, but we're going to go with the Division 6 women this week.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously round 18 for them. Saturday, the 22nd of August, kicked off the round at 12:30 at UWA Super Turf. UWA Women's Sixes versus Hale Women's Fours, and Hale came out 4-1 victors. And then 2:30 at Arena Joondalup, we had a Lakers Women's 1 versus Southern River Women's 2s, and the Southern River Women's 2s came out 3-0. And then Sunday at 3:30 p.m, it's getting worse. There's a worse time than that. UWA Super Turf again. We had Whitford's Women's 4 take out the win against Soaks Women's 3s 2-1. And then 3:30 that day as well at PHS, we had Kalamunda Women's 1s versus Wasps Women's 4s. And Wasps Women's 4s came out 5-0. That's an impressive scoreline. And then at 6:30 p.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah.
That's rough. At Lemnos Field, we had Lions Women's 4s defeat Melville Women's 5s 2-0. So well done to getting out at a 6:30 p.m. on a school night.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's tough.
I've done that a few times this year. It's hard. It's hard when you eventually get home and you wind down and
it's 10:30, maybe 11 p.m. and then you're And especially if it's been a bad game for yourself, you're real jacked up.
Yeah. Oh, yep.
But you would have been awake for the Hockeyroos game, so you know
would have,
pros and
yes.
cons. Looking at the ladder for the Division 6 women, we've got Hale on top on 49, Kalamunda on 43, Wasp on 37, Whitford's on 36, rounding out our top four. UWA on 27 in fifth place, so it looks pretty sewn up going in to the last round of the season.
I think that is their last.
That is our last.
I think
yes,
that
it
is their last
it is.
round. Yes.
So that's the top four.
Finals.
Finals. So Hale and Kalamunda with the double chance, and then Wasp and Whitford's with the knockout.
I like it. I like it. Well, if you want us to talk about your finals coming up, or any hat tricks, or multiple goals, or unbelievable penalty stroke saves, let us know. We'd love to share it on the podcast. You can either hit Jane up, you can hit myself up, or you can hit up Hockey WA. We are very keen to share what happens in the finals this season. Jane, World Cup flavour, of course. We had to get someone who has been there and done it, and we have. And we talked about him last week on the show, and we've got him locked in. Former World Cup winner, former Kookaburra, and star of the Tassie Tigers and Fremantle Cockburn Hockey Club, Tim Deavin. Welcome to the Hockey Hour.
Thanks for having me.
Mate, great to have you. Little question we get at all the guests as a little icebreaker. If there were three people, three guests you can invite to a dinner, and they can be dead or alive, who would those people be?
Interesting. Do I have to attend the dinner?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you can be the wait staff if you'd like. No one's asked that.
I mean, could I invite some people and then not go?
Well, it'd be interesting if you'd have a camera just to see what they talked about.
I'd have to think about that. I'll skip it. But I know I'd go to the Sporting Globe.
Okay.
For a lovely
Weird
farming.
that you would chose such a random place like that.
Oh, we love it.
Little plug.
We love it, mate. We love a good little plug as well for those in Floreat or Belmont or Rockingham. I think they're the locations.
Yeah, that'd be it. Mandurah.
Mandurah, yeah,
yep.
close enough. Yeah, righto. Well, mate, World Cup obviously happening, and some results that have determined semi-finals over the weekend. Let's start with the Hockeyroos. They got to the semi. They've only won one game, but a few draws have got them there, and goals, which we didn't think we'd ever say from them, has goals scored, I should say, got them there. Did you expect that?
It's interesting, actually, because I don't drink coffee, but I just got home and had a coffee because I stayed up and watched the games last night and have been. And I think I woke all my housemates up because I was screaming when they got in with excitement. But, yeah, well, I mean, based on form prior, I thought it was going to be a pretty tough ask. And especially, I guess, the amount of goals and PCA they were putting away weren't very many. So for them to get through is amazing. So, yeah, and once you get to the finals, as everyone knows, it's anyone's game. So, fingers crossed.
Yeah, absolutely. What have you thought about them this year? Obviously, they missed Oceania, through Oceania qualification last year. They got through on the FIH qualifier last year. What have you made of the Hockeyroos? Obviously, some practice games. Is this over and above what was probably happening at the start of the year?
Yeah, I think they've probably exceeded most people's expectations, especially given new coach, new team, a lot of, retirees won there, like quality players who've stepped away.
Thank you,
a
Dino.
lot of pleasure. I was going to say they need you out there.
She's ready.
But no, and yeah, I guess it's tough, right? Because they've played, I don't even know how many, 40 nearly girls through the year, trying to give a lot of people opportunities, and and that's great, and sort of gives the coaching staff people to look at and opportunities moving forward. And I think, yeah, very, very lucky, and they've done a great job to get to the semis where they are now. So again, I didn't necessarily think they would get there, but was always, and yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. One win and several draws can get you through to a semi-final. Like, it's been the flip side for the Hockeyroos as well. I've been the flip side where you've won every game and then lost a quarterfinal. So, yeah, great for the girls. On the flip side, the Kookaburras obviously now competing for fifth place after round games, win over Spain 1-0, a draw against South Africa, which I'm sure a lot of people watching were frustrated about, and then a draw against Belgium, and then, an unfortunate 4-2 loss against Germany, which put them out of contention for semi-finals by a goal difference of 1. What's your kind of overall, I guess, opinion or insights into their World Cup campaign?
Well, they're almost opposites, right? Like they were sort of dominant for the majority of the games. Yeah, the South African game was a dead rubber, but you'd still want them to come away with the win. But it didn't matter in the end because they finished sort of top of the pool, and then end up missing out after one loss essentially, which is crazy. And then on the flip side, the girls have one win. So yeah, I guess that's the brutal nature of we see it both ways, in a positive and a negative, that the way the pool systems have worked this year, and which is quite interesting.
Yeah, do you like the new format FIH are trying to, I guess, play around with? Because there was obviously a lot of criticism about the quarterfinal type setup where people could not win a single match and then win a quarterfinal because they've lucked out on a crossover. Is this fairer, or have you played in a format similar?
No, I think this is pretty new, and the only reason I can think, and it was similar to when they brought in the quarterfinals, was they didn't want the same teams always winning. So they brought that in to give other countries, I guess, a better opportunity to make finals, which happened, and I think it worked well in that sense. And I think this is doing it again because they've gone from 4 teams to quarters, whatever that is, 8 to, or 6, 8, and then this is 8 again, and it just opens it up to. And you see in the men, Spain got through, who are reasonably lowish ranked team, but end up at the semis off the back of a couple of wins.
Yeah, very true. And in terms of like the Kookaburra's performance as a whole this year, what's your kind of insights into that? And they've obviously got a new kind of era of Kookaburra coming through with, obviously, I think they mentioned Jeremy Hayward was the only lasting member since Den Haag gold medal. So it's an exciting time, but also obviously there's probably something to work on there.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of quality there, and they finished near the top in Pro League. Again, even through this tournament, they've won the majority of the matches. It's just unfortunate, sort of how it ended, and last night's game. Yeah, coming down to that's a bit sad. But I guess watching the games too, they sort of, I guess, weren't firing or playing as well as they normally would. But again, that's to be expected, right? Everyone's there to win and trying their best, and doing their research. So, but I guess disappointed for the guys, and elated for the girls.
You're a former World Cup winning teammate. Kieran Govers asked us whether they're pretenders or contenders. What are your thoughts?
Well, which one? The boys only just found out. I only just got home that they missed out, so they're obviously not contenders. But as I said before, I think semi-finals, it's anyone's game, right? So if the girls can hold up in defence and do a good job and minimise, and then sneak a couple of goals on the counter or PC, then I think they could go a long way. And the Dutch, seen in I think the last. Was it World Cup or Olympics? Can't remember, where they played China and China took them to 1-1. So, anything can happen under pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's turn our attention to Hockey One, because you are probably the most experienced and oldest player in the men's competition, at least. Hold the record for the oldest player to score a goal. Are you going to be looking to break that record this year? Are you returning for the Tassie Tigers?
Is that? Can I put that on my resume?
Yeah,
I would. Yeah, absolutely. That's history.
I don't know. It's a compliment. But, So playing again. Rito's asked me to play, and I said, I'll play until you pick me out and don't want me. So, love it. Love sort of being part of it and heading home, and just the general hockey community. And I think Hockey One's a great thing, and we finally managed to get on TV and hopefully help slowly build the brand of hockey, and keep on the up.
Obviously, grand final loss disappointingly last year. Is it a similar group that will return this year?
Pretty much the same. We miss Eddie Ockenden's retired, unfortunately, and Matt Swan who were two of our best players last year. Excuse me. So yeah, they're massive losses. But then we've also got a number of guys in the Ausie and under 21 Junior World Cup team who are sort of slowly stepping up, and they'll be getting some good game time this year, and I'm sure they'll do an amazing job.
Yeah, they've definitely developed those junior players through the Boroughs campaigns, and yeah, they've impressed, I know, on the international stage, so that's really great. We mentioned last week about the hardest role in community hockey, and Jase actually brought up being a president is probably, and I would argue exactly the same. It's you have a lot of hands in a lot of different pies and trying to please a lot of different aspects of club hockey WA, of the community aspect as well, parents, kids. So you are obviously Fremantle Cockburn's president. So you've stepped into this role this year, if I'm correct. How have you found it, and would you agree with the sentiment in terms of your other roles in hockey comparatively?
Well, I've all of a sudden developed a significant number of grey hairs, so I think that answers the question. I thought I was doing pretty well to last this long, but anyway. Yeah, it is. And all the sort of committee roles and volunteer roles across the sport are, there's significant hours spent by a lot of people. And the president's just one of those roles where, yeah, it takes up a lot of time. But yeah, there's lots of people, on committees, volunteers, coaches, all those sort of things who give up their time and evenings to help, and that's sort of what makes our sport great and helps the clubs to function.
What is now that we got you? Can we put a little shining light on the Fremantle Cockburn Hockey Club? What's your sort of want for the club going forward?
We're trying to grow, I guess, a membership. That's probably one of the main targets at the minute. We're looking at developing other aspects of the area, so putting in multi-sports. I think we're putting in an indoor pitch.
Oh, nice.
Sort of running indoor and floorball, hopefully this summer, with Hockey WA and Floorball WA. We're in low-level discussions at the minute about paddle and pickle going in there.
Very, very unlarized sport. My dad's just taken it up, so you could get the veterans community out there for sure.
Yeah, well, two fastest growing sports in the world, paddle and pickle. And it's sort of more a European style where it's multi-sport asset is sort of the goal, because we've obviously got a cricket pitch behind, so we're looking at sort of, whatever we can do to help the community and make it sort of more fun and engaging for members, whether it's, hockey, cricket, paddle, basketball, floorball, whatever, to try and sort of make it a bit of a one-stop shop, so to speak.
Yeah, it's beneficial, isn't it? Places that can have those sorts of sports all in the one place makes it easier, and then people start to branch off into the other sports in that space. So it's a great way to try and gain membership for your hockey club if people are playing basketball at the same place in summer. So I love it, mate. Look, we appreciate you having a chat with us and talking World Cup and Hockey One, and of course life as the president of the Fremantle Cockburn Hockey Club. Good luck for the rest of the season with the Fremantle Cockburn boys, and good luck for Hockey One with the Tassie Tigers. We'll be watching on 7plus, and look forward to seeing you back out there.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Tim Deavin. Well, he's a very clever man, very business savvy, and most importantly, very good hockey player.
He does a lot with his days. If he's president, he runs a company, he plays hockey. Oh, I don't know. He's commenting on Tassie Tiger Instagrams.
He loves it. He loves it. He's a man of the people, Devo, and as you mentioned, a good culture man. So it is great to have him give us his thoughts on the Hockey Hour, and probably reaffirm our thoughts that the president role is probably the most difficult in community hockey.
Yeah, definitely. Well done to all presidents out there.
Well, that's the end of this week's episode. Thank you for your listenership. Of course, you can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. A good week to catch the YouTube. Jane has dressed up for this podcast.
Yes. I just wanted to keep the fans happy, James Silvandre mainly. Keep him. No.
Yes, I love a shout out to Silvandres. But of course, you can catch all of the WA hockey news on Hockey WA's Instagram and Facebook social media pages, hockey_WA. one more round of the TeamStar Premier League. Last round now done for community hockey, finals to come for them. It's going to be a big month, as September always is, and we'll have all the info here for you on the Hockey Hour. So thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.